Okay, I hope you can see this because it's very, very bright. Down there is Malem Airfield. We're on Crete. We're right at the end of the island where the New Zealanders were holding positions overlooking the airfield. That is the airfield at Malem. And this little hill up here is 107. That's where one of the New Zealand battalions had dug itself in to deny easy landing or deny any attempts by the Germans to use the airfield. This is the key to the loss of Crete. The company commanders were questioning the battalion commander up there was a guy called Leslie Andrew. He'd won the Victoria Cross in the First World War, and it was one of the most highly regarded VCs ever won by a New Zealand soldier during the First World War. He didn't lack physical courage, but what happened was he had a light battalion because they'd taken casualties on Greece before being evacuated. He had two companies forward, one just on the other side of that hill and one in dead ground facing us, with the remainder of his battalion dug in on the top. He couldn't see and he had no comms. They had no radios, telephones were useless because the wires had been cut. Basically they had no equipment after they were pulled out of Greece. And when the Germans landed in this vicinity, both on the airfield and its immediate environments, although we butchered them, enough of them closed up to cause the companies in front here some considerable pressure. New Zealanders were able to hold, and they were doing quite well, but the battalion commander thought they'd been overrun. Lack of communications. He figured that he had no comms, runners he'd sent out had been killed, so he elected of his own recognizance to withdraw the remainder of his guys from the top of that hill. And once they were gone, that freed up the airfield for the Germans to then start crash landing their transport aircraft on and reinforcing with mountain troops. The paratroops were already in and around here. So that's the key, that's the whole damn story of the loss of Crete. We lost that hill. The counterattack that was supposed to happen the next night didn't get underway till very, very late in the piece, and they just were not able to push right the way through. Dead Kiwis were found towards the very edge of the airfield in ones and twos. So some guys did get there, but by the time the sun came up, the German aircraft were overhead again. We had no air support, no recover whatsoever. So the decision was made to withdraw, and ultimately they had to hump it up and over those hills in the distance there to Sfakia where they were evacuated. Now those are fucking big hills. We drove past them on the way down here. It's the sort of thing you wouldn't want to have to do as a young, fit, healthy man. But imagine trying to do it after you haven't had any sleep for 72 hours, very little food and virtually no water. So it was a real nasty affair. German cemeteries up there, we're going to have a look at that tomorrow. The Commonwealth cemetery is in a slightly different area around the coast. We'll go and check that out. And we'll wander down and have a look at the airfield itself.